Hi, you're watching News9 Digital. I'm Pratibha. Thank you for joining me live today. A shocking incident has rattled those who advocate press freedom and free speech. A private investigator working for Adani allegedly took covert photographs of an environmental activist and his 9-year-old daughter. Now, court documents have revealed that Adani had sought permission to conduct an unannounced search of the activist's family home as well. The Queensland Supreme Court said that the Court of Appeal both rejected the move, saying that the search could result in humiliation and family distress. Mr. Pennings published information about Adani's dealings with contractors for the mine and associated railway, putting pressure on contractors for some to back away from the project, and Adani in turn to go to court against him. And to speak to us more about what it's all about, why is it that Adani has a private investigator taking photographs of a 9-year-old, what is the case all about? The activist himself joins us live. Ben Pennings, anti-coal activist from Australia, joining us live. Many thanks for joining us, Mr. Ben Pennings. If you can tell us what the case is all about. This has been going on in court for a while. Of course, court documents also now revealing that a private investigator was also hired to track you. Tell us what this is all about.
Well, yeah, there is a very controversial coal mine in the state of Queensland in Australia. It's a thermal coal mine for producing electricity. At the moment, that is due to go to, transported to India and be used for, quite expensive electricity for Bangladesh. And a majority of people in Australia, don't want this coal mine and don't believe that it's necessary. And there's been a long battle with activists and citizens against the Adani Group for the last 10 years. So, there's been a big 10-year battle. I'm one of the people who is very public in the media and a very outspoken critic, not only of the Adani coal mine, but the Adani company altogether with regards to the way that they operate and their relationships with politicians in Australia as well as India. And Adani have decided to single me out as an individual. So even though I'm part of a group here, they've decided to single me out as an individual and to sue me. So they're alleging that I've got confidential information about them. They're alleging that I have intimidated companies working with them. And they're taking me to the Supreme Court in Australia, which is a big deal. If Adani were successful in suing me, I would need to, pay out lots of money, and I would lose my family home that I share with my wife and children, which is of a concern. And it is a very unusual situation in Australia for a company like Adani to take an individual to the Supreme Court. But what was, more concerning was that when this court case came out, we found that Adani, first up, were trying to raid my family home. So it's very unusual in Australia that a corporation would ever get the power to raid someone's house. But they applied to the Supreme Court and the Court of Appeal, and they both told Adani they weren't able to raid my family home. But what we found out last week was that in the process of that, Adani hired a private security firm, and that private security firm was following my wife to work. And they were also following me walking my 9-year-old daughter to school and taking photos, and it's been quite shocking.
Absolutely. And it's going to be very tough as well. I'm sure, as the court battle has played out, you realize it's extremely tough to take on a big group like Adani. You said you have been singled out. And apart from that as well, Adani is a big name across the world. So do you see these as intimidating tactics, perhaps? Do you feel intimidated in the face of, such tactics being used by the group?
Very much so. Like, we know that Adani are taking this court action to try and silence me and intimidate me, but it's about other people as well. So there are, most Australians don't want this mine. A lot of people talk up against it. And we very much believe that the Adani Group wants other people in Australia to be scared to speak out, and other people in Australia to, think again with regards to, criticising the Adani Group and what they do. But, we know there's a lot at stake, and of course I'm have concerns for my family and children, but we also know that, coal is deadly, thermal coal is unnecessary, and climate change is deadly, and the biggest threat to, my family, your family and children, worldwide is runaway climate change, which is disaster now, but it will be a greater disaster for generations to come.
Right. So there's a greater cause that you're working for, but there's also a price that you're paying, like you mentioned, the kind of legal battle that you're going through as well. But what next? Because you've also spoken before. On one hand, you've said that you're not going to cow down in the face of such pressure coming in from the Adani Group. But on the other hand, you've also spoken of wanting a compromise formula with the Adani Group, which you claim that they have rejected. So where do you stand as of now? Are you going to continue this fight against the Adani Group?
Yes, very much so. So, yeah, people in Australia, but also a lot of people in India have been very supportive, and I've managed to raise a lot of money, enough to get a very, high, a good legal team. So I've got a whole legal team working for me now. And as of Friday last week, we put our formal defence in. So we've put a large defence into Adani's claims about me. That will be out in the media in Australia relatively soon. And yeah, at the moment, it's going to be a long, battle in the Supreme Court. But with these type of actions, Adani may change their mind over time if they are losing in court, but also if they're losing in the court of public opinion. So they're very unpopular here in Australia already. If they become more unpopular because of their tactics with my family, they may decide to change their mind, because, as we know, the Adani family doesn't need the money.
Absolutely. Well, kudos to you, Mr. Ben Pennings. Of course, it's going to be a long-drawn battle, but if your heart is in the right place, then probably you will get what you're fighting for, and the court will look into that. Many thanks for joining us live with details on that. And, as the fight continues, we'll also continue tracking these developments. But this came as an absolute shocker for a big group like Adani to single out an activist, also a private investigator being hired to track down not just the activist, but also his family members. Well, please let me know in the comment section as well what you think of it. If you support the activist, what your thoughts are on the subject as well. I look forward to that. Please like, share and subscribe to News9 Digital. Thank you for watching. Take care.